I think being a YouTuber is more difficult than working in childcare.
I cannot lack.
No.
I can't not go, right, I'm not doing work today. I have to complete that paperwork that I've been asked. My manager comes in and goes, oh, can you just order this, or can you just do this for me? Can you do that for me? And if I don't do that by the end of the shift, they'd be questioning me because I've had 8 hours to do it.
Hello and welcome back to the Wilfie podcast. Today I am talking to Sophie, my co-host.
Hello.
Now I have something to say. I think being a YouTuber is more difficult than working in childcare. First of all, do you agree or disagree?
I disagree.
You disagree. Okay, well, you're wrong. But we're going to discuss that at length in today's podcast. So, yeah, stick around for that. Also, we're going to dive into some common misconceptions about our jobs. Do people really know what goes into our lives and how we sort of rejuvenate so that we can work? And how do we find purpose in our work as well? So let's start off with, well, first of all, a little introduction. So my name's Will. I'm a YouTuber / musician. Go around gigging the pubs in Sussex in England. And I did sing once in Gran Canaria. You did as well, to be fair.
I did.
And that's a funny story. I'll see if I can throw up some B-roll of you singing, shall I? No?
No.
No? Okay. And Sophie, what do you do? Do you want to give people a quick rundown of what you do for work?
I am a senior residential childcare practitioner, and I work with children who have got learning disabilities and a trauma background.
Okay, cool. So that's that out of the way. Right. What's something people always assume about your job that's totally wrong?
How easy it can be.
But it's just looking after kids.
It's really not just looking after kids.
So talk me through, how do the kids that you deal with present differently to regular children?
To be fair, I don't actually know, because I've only really worked in a nursery, and that's like 1 to 4 year olds.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't work to 1 to 4 year olds anymore. Like we did have a 5-year-old, now he's grown up, but his way of life was completely different to children that I looked after in a nursery. It was, they went home, they had I don't really know how to put it. Basically, they're just a lot more intense. You have to engage yourself all the time. You can't not have, right, you go and do your own thing for like 5 minutes, let me go make a cup of tea. You don't have that chance to do that. You have to be there in the time, the whole time you're there.
And the kids you're working with have ADHD, don't they? And
yeah, autism and many other health issues.
Some of them have epilepsy, is that right as well?
Yeah, that's right.
So how does a child with epilepsy change the job and how you approach different situations with them? Does it prevent you from going out and doing certain activities, or do you try and let the kid sort of do what they want and follow what they want to do, but obviously just have in the back of your mind that you've got to keep them safe? Is that the sort of mentality? Yeah,
I believe we don't stop them because of their epilepsy. It's not fair, otherwise you'd be like, if you had epilepsy yourself, you wouldn't go, oh, I can't go for this walk today because what if I have a seizure? You can't do that to a child. You can take them out and let them go out and let them have fun. Like, we take them to Thorpe Park, we take them to Chessington. They've got a swimming pool on site. They go swimming, and that is a very anxious-filled activity. But it's not bad. Like, when you get the hang of the children and getting to know them and what could cause a seizure, then you'd know, right, okay, actually, maybe this one thing might not help. Like, say, for argument's sake, like, these ones aren't set off by light, but say if we went into, like, a disc or something, you'd be like, yeah, we're not doing that today.
Got you. Fair enough. What are some different reactions that you get from people when you tell them what you do? So say you've introducing yourself to some friends of mine that you've not met before, and they ask, oh, what do you do for work? What are some reactions that you would get?
I've had a few where they go, like when you've done gigs and people go, oh, what do you do for a job? And I go, oh, I work with children with learning disabilities, because I don't go into depth. And they go, oh, that's really good of you. And I'm like, thanks. And they're like, oh, it must be really hard. And it's like, yeah, thanks for pace training me there.
So for those who don't know, what is pace training?
Oh, now you're questioning me. I haven't done it in ages. Pace training is like you're understanding their emotions So like P.
Is it an acronym? Does it stand for something?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. P is for playfulness. A is for ambition. C, I can't remember. C is the one I can never remember. E is for empathy. C is for, oh my God, what is it? Have you
Playfulness, acceptance, curiosity, and empathy.
What did I say?
I think you said acceptance.
Maybe, I can't remember. Yeah, curiosity. I don't think I said A right. But
it's the same sentiment.
Yeah. But that's what I do. And like we have like our home like split into two. Like we have a PBS and we have a PACE side.
A PBS?
PBS is positive behavioural support. So you have like a strategy in place to support their behaviour. And you just trial and run, and if it works, it works, and you put that down on paper. If it doesn't work, you try another thing, and then you put that one down on paper. But you do put the ones that you've tried down on paper, because otherwise you just go around in circles, and that's not fun. But yeah, PACE is you're just understanding the child, and if like, say for argument's sake, you have a toddler and they are screaming the house down because you're not letting them go out, or you said, oh no, you've got to clean up first, and then you could like, they're all these throwing the toys around and everything, and you go, okay, I can see you're upset. Would you like to talk about it? That just, to me, if someone said that to me, it would get me more angered. Just because it's like, yeah, you can see me upset. Why would I want to talk about it to you right now at this moment? Like, I'm this upset and you're asking me to talk about it. I'm not talking about it. But it actually works. Like, if you do it to children before they get to their crisis point, it does really work.
Nice. What do you see as like the crisis point? How do you know when the child has crossed that line? Are they just being completely outrageous?
Yeah, let's just say that. Not going into detail.
What would be some triggering points to accelerate a child from just being slightly angry to all the way through to hitting the crisis point?
So a young person that I support is if you just keep talking. Not talking at her, but you're with them and just say, for argument's sake, they wanted to go in someone else's toy cupboard and you're blocking the way, going, no, these are not your toys. That's more annoying her because you're talking to her, but she understands that they can't go into the toy cupboard, but you're talking to her. So if you just stand there quietly, she might calm down, might not. It really depends on the mood. And like, I don't really know, because I've only had like crisis point when I've had those types of behaviours a couple of months ago, and I don't actually know what I did to get her to that point. But but if you do just keep talking to them, they are just going to keep going up. And if you just ignore the behaviour but you're not ignoring them, they know that they're still seen and heard, but you're not accepting the behaviour.
Right.
I don't really know how else to put that.
No, that's a really good way to put it. And so do people really know what goes into your job?
No.
So you turn up to work, and I think what's the assumption, would you say? What do most people think you do? You just go and sit in a house with some kids and they just crack on with their lives?
Yeah, to be honest. Like, you go in and it's like you're thinking that you're giving them a normal life. Well, you're giving them a normal life, but saying like you're going into it like it is a home environment, like it's like your own kid. Like, you're going in there and you're going, for argument's sake, right, school, get ready. And then like some parents can sit down and you don't have to help them, but in my work, you have to sit down and support them and look after them and encourage them to get ready for school and encourage them for the day. And it's a lot harder than people expect. Like, I'll be honest, I didn't think it was going to be this hard when I went into it. I knew there was going to be like challenging moments, behavioural moments where you just want to cry because that's the job. But on the other hand, I didn't think it would have been like, this is draining, this is a lot, this is going on for so long. It's not an easy job, and people just think, easy money, easy job, let's just sit down, do nothing. The child can sit in front of a telly and watch TV the whole shift, and then they can go to bed at 7 o'clock and go to sleep by 7:30. Like, that's not what the job is, and that's what people, I think, have expectations of.
And What sort of hours are you working? Are you working 12 hours a week, or are you working 100 hours a week?
I work 45 hours a week.
Okay. So it's not too dissimilar to any other 9 to 5 thing. You just turn up at 9 o'clock, do you, and then finish at 5.
Yeah, I wish. No, I do 14-hour shifts. So my 14-hour shifts are 7:15 till 9:15. And then I do an 8-hour shift, which is 7 till 3 or a 2 till 9. I know they're not 8 hours, but it does end up being 8 hours in the end. So it's not, the 8-hour ones are easy. The 14-hour ones can get you down a little bit.
And when you're working, you obviously get a break every 6 hours. Do you have like 20 minutes to yourself?
Yeah, you're supposed to. I just don't like giving myself a break.
No? Why is that?
Because I do get a break when they go to bed.
So you just don't need lunch?
I eat lunch with them. I eat breakfast, lunch, dinner with them. Have a cup of tea with them. Play games with them. When they're sitting down watching telly for like 10 minutes, that's a nice break. Like, you're still there, but you're not having to run around with them doing everything. And that's nice. Like, I just don't like going back in and then I'm going back in and it could be mayhem and the house could be trashed. And I don't want to do that. I'd rather do that never. I'd rather them stay calm. That's just me though.
And how do staff shortages impact your work?
That's really hard because we have, like, I can work along the whole of the home. Like, I can work with every single child so they can put me in places. But there was this one time when I was leading and we had 2 sickness and something else that I can't go into detail about, but we had something else happen. So that one person couldn't do something. So I had to literally move the whole home around for people actually being able to work with the children they can work with. So, like, in the house I work in, a lot of staff only can work in that house because they haven't actually had the chance to meet the other children. Right. Which is really difficult. So
is there a reason for that, or is it just?
It's just what has happened, really.
Right.
I don't know why. I don't know. Like, with me, when I first started, I met everyone, and I worked with 3 kids, and they took me away from them because I thought, oh no, like, you're not going to be doing sleep-ins, you can be with these kids. But I still worked with that child when they needed, like, when he was off sick and the staff was with him, they needed to go to meetings and do work and whatever, I'd cover for them. So I've, like, covered every single child. And being a senior, you need to be in every house. Mm. So, like, if something does happen, you have to be in that house. But what really impacts is, like, if you do have a sickness, like the other day I had a sickness and I had to find someone to work in a house that it was really hard to, like, oh, do we put this person up there or do we put this one up there? Who's better to work with these 2 children? So actually having sickness is really hard. Like, you cannot find staff cover. And if you put out a message and go, can someone cover? Some people don't want to because they've already done overtime. Some people already have plans because our rota goes out in with like 6 weeks in advance or something like that. So people would have plans on their days off, so it's even harder to do that anyway. Mm. But that was like my first experience for staff shortages.
Fair enough. And when you have an incident with a child, is there, like, what's the paperwork on the back end like for that?
Depends on how long the incident is, really.
So you've got to go more in depth?
We have to, yeah, so, like, you have to just write about the behaviour. It depends on what the behaviour is. You have an ABC and an incident report. An ABC is an antecedent, behaviour and consequence, and an incident is if the young person has hurt you or if they've run away or harmed another young person. That's like an incident, and they don't take long if you haven't had a long one. But if you had one, say, at the start of the shift and you're doing a 14-hour, you could be there for about an hour trying to think about what all the types of behaviour they actually did in that incident. And it's really hard. But once you've been there for a while, you do kind of click on and you just go through, you write down your incident.
So you'd fill that out the same day?
Yeah, you can't do it.
So it's got to be done...
in the 24 hours.
Within 24 hours. And where does that get sent afterwards? Is that just
it
to management?
It goes to management, and then management can send it off to social workers.
Right. So social workers are constantly kept in the loop on sort of what's been going on. The hours outside of work that nobody sees, sort of, is there any type of work that you bring home? Are you thinking about what to do when you're there, when you're at home, planning that isn't on the books, if you like, or on the schedule?
I don't bring any work home in the sense of like I don't take work home. I take like the thoughts of like, oh, what if I did this differently, and if I did this, could this have gone this way? Like that goes through my head. And if I look at the rotor and I'm leading, and I'll look at the rotor and go, oh, we have no staff for that child, what do I do? And then I struggle to sleep. But it's not really difficult in the sense of like I'm not taking work home. Like it can affect me sometimes it doesn't. But like if I've after my shift, I like to phone Will on my way home just to let it all off my chest before I walk in the flat.
And that's sort of going to be my next question. How do you emotionally process like bad days?
Just rant at you.
So you talk about it and that helps you get it out.
Yeah, because I like to associate my drive to and from work still work hours. Not as in that I'm not obviously getting paid for it, but
you are out the house.
I'm out the house and I'm not in here. Like I know I do talk about work when I'm here, but then I'm still processing. Like I could be talking to him and be like, "Oh, why didn't I just do this?" And then he'd be like, "What are you on about?" Sometimes, but I would just letting it out in the car on the drive home is much nicer. That's like one way I de-stress. Or
just helps you process what's going on.
Yeah, and if you're not answering, then I'd listen to music really loudly on my way home and then sing my heart out.
Why do you keep going?
Because I love the kids.
That's the driver on what keeps you going in.
Yeah, like to give love to the kids.
Nice.
Give them the love they deserve.
Do you think that'll change when you have your own?
As in what?
As in you won't want to work?
I wouldn't want to work the long hours. I'd like to be at home with my child and not with my children.
Fair enough. Struggles you've had with burnout. Do you ever feel like you work too many hours in a row? Because I know sometimes you have back-to-back 14-hour days and things like that.
Yeah, this week.
And has that like properly tired you out? Do you feel, because you've got 3 days off in a row now?
I say 2 because I've got training online.
Oh, right.
Well, training, I say a meeting for our young people.
And do you feel like that's enough for you to then recover and then do the following week?
Yeah, because I've got actually a really nice easy week next week, so nice. I'm not going to complain.
But you're on sort of a 2-week rota, it seems, so you have one half of the 2 weeks, which is really easy, then the second half absolutely rinses you.
So, say for argument's sake, week one is when I work weekends, so I would work a Monday afternoon, a Wednesday long, Saturday morning, Sunday long, and then my weekend off, I would work the Monday long, off Tuesday, in Wednesday long, Thursday morning, Friday long, and that's a lot. And then there's been occasions like this week, there have been staff that have gone on holiday and I worked a Saturday morning, Sunday long, Monday morning, Tuesday evening, Wednesday long, off Thursday, Friday long. So it can change. And then it's a lot. But if I didn't go for the senior role, I wouldn't have been doing that. I'd have stayed with my same hours, I reckon.
And what are your sort of goals within the career? Are you just going to move laterally from now on? So you're going to move like and just stay basically where you are in terms of working with the kids being...
Yeah, because we talk about this a lot at work, and like from the difference to management and senior and house leader, a senior is like one of the hardest jobs because you're not actually management, but you've got a lot of work to do. You do a lot, and it's really hard sometimes. Like, you're managing the home on a weekend when the management aren't there. You're ensuring everyone's safe. You have to go back to the management, say something happened on the weekend, and you have to call up the manager on call and be like, right, this has happened. It can be a lot. And like people people don't really understand like how difficult it is to be a senior when they go, oh, all you do is just like sit in the office. Like, actually, I don't really get the chance to sit in an office. But you don't do that. It's a lot more different to like what I actually thought it would be.
How has your job affected your views on sort of how you would bring up a child?
It hasn't.
It hasn't. You do exactly the same stuff.
No, I'd be different because obviously it's your child. You can
Be more disciplinarian.
Yeah,
Get
like
out a whip.
we can't. No, no, we can't like give them a consequence. So, like, say for argument's sake, say I had a child and they broke a glass. That's a minor thing. Say they broke a TV. Okay, let's not talk. TV. That's a big thing. And you'd go, okay, we're meant to be going to Not Catch today. You're not going anymore. But you can't really do that. Actually, I don't know. But you can't really do that with the young people. Like, now it's a natural consequence. They don't have a TV.
A natural consequence. So what is a natural
So, like, they broke the TV. That's a natural consequence. They can't watch TV now.
Right.
They broke their iPad. That's a natural consequence. They
hit Sophie. They no longer get Sophie.
No, that doesn't work.
Right.
But, like, there's just natural consequences. And then there's times where you can say
so it's
to them,
not things like, you've done this thing that was misbehaving, or like you were shouting at me, therefore I'm going to take away your iPad. You can't do that.
no, you can't do that.
But you could do, if they broke a TV, they can no longer watch TV because they've broken it.
Yeah.
So it's literally equal and opposite, basically.
Yeah. Because you can't give them a consequence.
They won't understand it.
No.
Whereas our kids would.
Yeah. Like, look, you're not going out now because you broke the TV, like, and you don't get a TV.
Yeah.
There's two consequences in one there. But, like, say for argument's sake, the young person I support, they are misbehaving and they're showing signs that they don't want to go out. Say for argument's sake, you're going to the seafront for a walk or going to the arcades, and they start shouting and whatever at you, and you're like, we're not going now because you're not listening and you're not showing behaviour to want to go out. I don't know what I'd say, but because it's not happening right now, but I'd say something along that lines. And then the child can completely change. Their behaviour could go from really, really bad to like, oh, I'm actually not going out now, and I'm actually okay with that because I didn't want to go out in the first place. So you can do that as well, but it really depends on the young person. Like with my young person, if they do that, I'm like, no, we're not going out. And then they'll be a lot more calmer.
And how important would you say it is that these kids are in a routine?
Very, very important.
So what happens if they're out of routine?
Then they misbehave.
Badly or just?
Not badly. They'll test you. Be like, why have you not put me in my routine? Like, say for argument's sake.
So they know they're self-aware of the routine.
Yeah. Say, for argument's sake, my young person, they come back home from school, they have a bit of telly. You're meant to do sensory play with them, but we don't really have any sensory play stuff. And then they have dinner, and then they go to bed, then they go for a bath, then they go to bed. Say you say to them, because this is what happened to me, right, we're going out, we're going to have dinner first. No, we're going to have a bath first, dinner, come home, and go to bed after. That really set that child off. Right. Although the other day, which really surprised me and really took me back, was that we had a young person's parent come and visit. And we thought, oh, it'd be a good idea to let my young person to go out for pudding and go for a walk, to like go around to the park or go for a walk or something. And then it got a bit too late because they do take a little while in the bath. But I already given them a heads up and said, look, right, we're back inside, we're going to have dinner, we're going to have a bath, we're going to get changed, and we're going in the car. I didn't say where we were going in the car, but she understood that and she was fine. Which really took me back. But I think because I said the word pudding, the whole routine hasn't ended.
Yeah.
So she knows I am coming home and going to bed. Pudding is still after my dinner.
Yeah. So
she's probably, and like I did tell her that it'll be too late if we come back and don't have a bath, and she has school the following day. Like, have a wash. Especially after this week where it's been really busy, really hot. So like that took me by surprise when they still got ready to go out in the car and then came home and then got into bed and had meds and went to sleep before 9 o'clock. Like, it really took me by surprise. So it really depends on the day you catch them with, like, routine. But they are strict. Like, with my young person, she will literally, say for argument's sake, you literally say to her, right, we're not having a bath today. She won't like that. She'll be like, no, I'm having a bath. Or you do dinner, you don't say anything about bath, and she'll take her off herself to the bathroom.
Oh, wow.
And then she'll take herself off to bed. Like, it's all different. Although recently she hasn't because she's in a new house, but it's all different.
And how important is empathy when you're dealing with the kids? But before we get into that, I need to tell you about DistroKid. If you've ever wondered how non-signed artists get their music on Spotify and Apple Music, this is how.
That's right. Click the first link in the description to get 7% off in your first year.
Wow, you couldn't have sounded more robotic. That's all good. Back to the podcast. And how important is empathy when you're dealing with the kids?
Important.
Yeah. You can't just be emotionally blank.
No. They read your facial expressions.
So I'd be great with them then.
You don't have any facial expressions. I can never tell whether you're telling me the truth or if you're, like, being serious or joking, and it's really disturbing. What other common misconceptions about being a YouTuber?
That it's really easy and all you just do is put up a camera and then record it.
You sound that right to me, because I say that to you all the time.
I wish. Like, everyone would be a YouTuber if that was the case. But, like, just before this podcast, I spent maybe 15, 20 minutes just sorting out audio. Longer than that. Like, setting up cameras, I've got to make sure that I've got memory on both the cameras and that they're clear, and I hope they're still recording because they're facing the wrong way. Because we might have to redo the whole thing. Like, setting them up, making sure the lighting's right, having the set looking presentable is important. If you know, what do you think of the new set, guys? I'm so proud of it.
I quite like it. The only thing that's stressing me out is that microphone. Every time my bracelet hits the table, you're going to hear everything.
Yeah, maybe. I did have this is why it took so long to set up the microphones, because I had 2 other ones set up, but I think I need preamps for them, and I don't have preamps for them. I've got a preamp for that one, but not for this one. This one's got 48 volts as a condenser, but that's why it's picking up everything. This one is... Yeah, I like that mic a lot for podcasts.
But I feel really, like, short. Like, I have to sit up straight so they can see me over the microphone.
It can pick it up. But yeah, and then obviously there's all the editing that goes into it. And now YouTubers more than ever are under threat of AI.
AI is really creepy, isn't it?
It's getting there. It's really
no,
getting
but, like,
there
not creepy as in, like, yeah. Like, when you're going through your shorts, so you're going through your Instagram feed, and there's, like, things that I see and I send it to my siblings group chat, and it's like, this is so weird. Like, is that actually real or is that fake? Like, you can never tell anymore.
And it will just get better and better and better. And, like, the new Google VO3 and Google Flow, which are really strong AI tools, they're sort of like Sora, so they're like make videos from text prompts. Like, you can't tell the difference between that and a Hollywood film. And in 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now, it's just going to be ridiculous. I'm actually placing a bet that the future Marvel films will be made just by one guy prompting it.
Scary.
It's insane. But nobody will care because it will look just as good as...
Yeah, but I like to see the actual characters.
Yeah, you do see them.
Yeah, but real life people, not AI made.
Well, you won't know the difference. You might get old actors getting paid because they use their face as the actor for...
Yeah, what, dead ones?
Or alive, it doesn't matter. They don't need to act anymore.
That's true.
If they've been on camera before, people know what they look like.
But what I've noticed recently with, like, the AI is that, say for argument's sake, my hand's over this wire, it has a glitch, so you know it's AI. Like, there's a video where it was funny. I shouldn't really say it. There was a bigger woman jumping off a
fat
boat.
Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jumping off a boat. And you know, like, one of those, like, little boats, if you go on holiday, you're going on one of those boats, you can jump in the water sort of thing, jumping off a pole. And I knew it was AI because her foot looked a bit dodgy. And so I was like, okay, it's AI. But what was so weird was that they actually used a fat woman to look like it looked so real, and then the boat sunk because like the splash came back and then the boat sunk. But like you also knew it was AI because no one actually freaked out. They were still sat on the boat. Like you'd have been like, oh my God, get me out, and like run up to the top and jump in instead of like slowly sink in with the boat, you know? So that's how you knew it was AI. But AI is just weird. It's creepy.
It will be good though, because that's a bad prompt. But if you get somebody, like, you will have watched stuff that you wouldn't have known was AI.
Yeah, this whale thing.
Well, probably that one, but
although
loads more.
AI.
But nobody's flagged it because nobody knows. It's absolutely crazy. I also think it's going to have, there's going to be some really good content that's made, because like the Bigfoot vlogs, they're just brilliant. They're like, you can do things that are intrinsically interesting. For example, Mr. Beast has always had a thing about a purple cow. Like if you went out for a walk and you saw a purple cow and you filmed it, and the thumbnail was a picture of you with a purple cow, nobody would believe it, so they'd have to click it. Whereas AI gives you that purple cow every video. It's crazy. So yeah, that's about. There's a lot to it.
There is a lot to it. What do you get when you tell people what you do?
A lot of people go, "Oh, that's nice. Good for you."
But they probably just don't know.
They have no idea. Like the other thing, people say, "What do you do for work?" You say, "Oh, I make YouTube videos and I do gigs." They're like, "Oh, right, okay. And how are you getting on?" Then I tell them that I'm on like 160,000 subs, and they're like, "Oh, you're a YouTuber? Okay." Like they don't believe that because a lot of people don't know who I am in my life anyway, or like how many subs I've got or how big I am, and so I'll just talk to them, and I'm just a normal person, and then I'm like, "Oh yeah," and I've got 160k subs. They're like, "Oh, okay, so you actually do it." It's like there's a big barrier of belief in people.
Yeah, but YouTubers, like if you say it to people to our age and go, "I'm a YouTuber and I make videos," they'd expect you to do what like Zoella and Alfie does. And,
well, I think it depends who
like
you speak
vlogs,
to.
because vlogs are long gone now. I'm pretty sure. Like they do the odd vlog here and there, but
yeah, vlogs are unfortunately on the decline.
Yeah.
Same with gaming, I think. Like after Fortnite, that hasn't really been a replacement game. I think once GTA 6 comes out, gamers will come back. But there's just nobody's interested in anything.
Yeah, because
Liar's Bar, there was Among Us for a bit. Everyone was interested in Among Us. But there's not, like, everyone used to watch Minecraft series and everyone used to watch GTA 5 series. It was massive, like millions and millions and millions of hits per video per YouTuber. It was insane. And now it's like everyone's struggling. Also with short form being such a big part of how everyone consumes media, it's very difficult for anyone to break out in long form. I'm an example of that. It's really difficult. Yeah, there's lots to learn about keeping people's attention and persuading somebody before they know who you are to watch your long form video rather than just scrolling shorts is a challenge. But it's what it is.
It is what it is. Are there funny or frustrating stories that illustrate these misconceptions?
Example with my grandparents. So they're very, very supportive. Like out of the over 300 gigs I've done, I bet my granddad's been at
300?
I've easily done over 300.
I'm
now.
Sure you've done more than that.
Yeah, but let's say 300 as a minimum. Like he's been to the equivalent of like 299 of them. Like he goes to all of them. And all the time you get advice from everywhere, but he's been very helpful in like guiding me which directions to go and how to get pub keys and whatever. And now I've gone from like 10,000 subs to 20,000 subs, then I jumped up from 20,000 to like 150k. It's like the advice doesn't apply. You've got to grow with it. And he's done very well to manage to sort of level up his thinking to even thinking YouTube's a thing. And now it's very difficult because a lot of the things that he wants me to do and people want me to do is like they ask me to go and I've been invited on a magazine, which I don't think has big exposure. So the problem is all of my decisions have to now be based around what is the number one best thing for me and my business. And the problem is local people can't help with that. It's like I've gone from being, or they can, but in a very different way. So originally, you do everything possible to try and get as much exposure as possible. Once you get 60 million views in a month, doing a magazine for 2,000 views is a waste of time. All in, it would probably take me 2 hours to do emails back and forth to get it organised, plus the interview, plus the review of the edited document, and then the release. If I spent that same 2 hours making shorts, I would already get more than 2,000 views. So where's my time better spent? I would argue it's better spent on me making the shorts and getting more exposure than it is doing something for less exposure to an audience that isn't on YouTube.
But it could be to a new audience.
It might be to a new audience, but so is the shorts. 97% of the people that view my shorts aren't subscribed and haven't watched me before.
Subscribe to Will Taylor.
Yeah, please. I've had 2.6 million return viewers in the last 28 days. Why aren't they subbing?
Because it's hard. You're going through like your shorts.
Yeah, no, nobody I harbour no ill will, because it's whenever you're on short, like everyone has scrolled shorts today. If you're watching this, you've scrolled shorts, you've scrolled TikTok, you've scrolled Instagram, right? You don't remember the name of anyone that you've scrolled.
But they pop back up again.
They pop back up again, but you still couldn't tell me, like, name 5 people that you've watched today. Yeah, this is the point. It's like, I can't hate people for that, because even I don't know who I've scrolled today.
I only know one, but...
Yeah, that's usually the one that you search to go with at the start as well. Even if you don't know them. It's like you search the person that you want to watch, and then you go through the shorts feed, and suddenly 3 posts later you have no idea, but it's entertaining content. It's because it's all interest media. It's all based on what you're interested in. So it's topic related rather than individual related, which is another reason why I think AI will win, because it can just make the number one thing that would be interesting for that topic. And as soon as that changes, it will change.
Yeah.
I went slightly off topic there, but it's, yeah, going back to sort of the thing that's most difficult about people's misconceptions is a lot of people think they can be helpful when they can't. A lot of people will tell you how to run your business when they've never done it, but they might have watched a really good podcast on it, so they just think they know. It's like, we've started this podcast. Is it easier or harder than you thought it would be?
It's more time consuming.
More time consuming in what way? So what have you got to do? What's more time consuming than for you?
I really want to go and finish my painting.
I'd love to be in your brain.
It's my, like...
You're so simple.
What is the word? Like, detox?
Yeah.
Like, it just relaxes me. This isn't relaxing. Like, I just want to sit there in my own little world, do some little painting. Because when I'm home, I'm home. When I'm at work, I don't get 5 minutes to myself. And then I come home and then you're all over me.
Yeah, so what I was getting at was the naivety bias. Whenever you haven't done something, you think it's easy because you have a little bit of information. For example, with the YouTube thing, everyone thinks YouTube's easy because you just set up a camera, film it, and post it.
I wouldn't.
Once you start making YouTube videos, you realise how much editing there is, how your video can be really good, but the thumbnail means that nobody clicks on it. Or your thumbnail and title can be really good, but everyone leaves because the video's crap.
But you know what? When I used to watch YouTube, I never used to watch it because of the thumbnail. Do you know what I used to watch it because of?
Why?
The title. If it was like something, say for argument's sake, it was a good thumbnail. Like, it wasn't anything negative. It was like, it wasn't even in the video. I don't even know what it would be. I haven't watched YouTube in a very long time. But I watch Sam and Colby, who's a fantastic bunch of YouTubers. And it's like staying in a haunted house for 24 hours. You're going to click that. I didn't care what the picture looks like. I just care what it says on the title. If it's something like, oh, I got my girlfriend this new car when I was younger, I'd have been like, oh, what's this car? Let's go and see what the car is. I didn't care about the thumbnail. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, though. It's title and thumbnail packaging. If you get that wrong,
but
nobody clicks on your video.
You focus more on the thumbnail than you do the title, that I've noticed.
Yeah, because there was a study that was done, and 80% of people don't look at the title, they look at the thumbnail.
Maybe they can't read.
Because everyone lies in the thumbnails. Everyone lies in thumbnails, and everyone lies in the titles.
Yeah, I was going to say everyone can
But
lie in thumbnails.
thumbnails are more visual.
Mm.
Like if you are scrolling Instagram, what do you look at first? The title of the Instagram thing you're watching, or do you watch the thing? You watch the thing.
Sometimes people don't actually put a description on it anymore.
Yeah.
They just put the video.
Yeah.
And TikTok, have you sorry, this is going off topic. Have you noticed if you scroll through TikTok, some TikTokers' names don't actually come up, it's just a video. And then if you swipe that way on your phone, I couldn't think of what way that is, then it comes up with the TikToker's page, but you don't see the actual person's page.
Because
or
it's irrelevant now.
It's really weird.
Yeah, it's all going, as I say, away from the individual and all towards the topic. Because people are interested in the topic, not the individual. People that are succeeding in this era of interest media that are trying to do it as individuals are people who have already established an audience and have been with them for 10 years already. Because you know to search out Sam and Kobe. But how many other haunted house videos have you watched?
Loads. I still would watch them. They don't have an interesting video style.
No, see, this is the thing. They don't keep me
But
the reason you like Sam and Kobe's videos is because that's the style that you've grown up watching. So that's the one that you like. But the other ones might objectively be better videos, but you'd never even watch them because you don't have an affinity with them. You don't care how they feel about that haunted house. You do care about how Sam and Kobe's reaction to it. It's because they're more
fake. Like there was a massive group of them as well, and then Sam and Kobe just went on their own, and then Elton did his own haunted thing, and then took Corey and Jake off. See, I still remember the names, but Sam and Colby actually have like a real reaction to things that I think what they do is more true. It's not like an American fake story. It's like they go in there, they've actually got like real life torches that you have to twist to turn on and off. They're not anywhere near it, they're at the cameras and they've got it on the time. Whereas like when I watch the other ones, they just have really fake reactions and they're like, oh my god, wow, look what they've done. Oh, watch it. And it's like, it was just weird. It's just, I just don't like it.
It's almost like haunted houses and all that is all rubbish.
No, I believe in it. I genuinely do. We've gone off.
Leave a like on the video if you want to see me push Soph into a haunted house. And I very quickly realised that there's nobody in it, dead or alive.
I think you'd like them.
If we get one like, I'll do it.
We have got that murder mystery week. Oh, we could do that. Murder mystery weekend.
I can't wait. What were we talking about?
About your funny or frustrating stories to illustrate these misconceptions.
Yeah, so people watch, like, it's the naivety bias. So it's like, if you've not done something before, but you've seen people do it, you think you can do it too, which is great because that's how everyone gets started. Once you start, you realise how much you don't know. You know, this little grid of like, at first you don't know anything, but you know that you don't know anything. Then you... the first one is you don't know what you don't know, which is a really dangerous place to be because you just don't know anything. Then you get to the next part of the grid, which is you do know that you don't know anything. So that means that you can learn. Then you get to the point where you don't know everything, but your level is still higher than the last person because you've been doing some learning. And then you finally get to the point where you do know that you do know. But not many, that's like mastery at that point. There's very few people that do know everything, if anyone does. But yeah, it's people giving advice on things that are like, you're giving me advice for if I was at level 2, level 3, and I might be at level 8. It'd be like a 10-year-old teaching you how to do your job.
Maybe they know more information than I do.
It's unlikely, you know?
They might give you some advice so that you'd be like, oh, I actually never thought of that before.
Yeah, no. Because it's all basic. It's stuff that these are all bridges that I've already gone over. The advice that I'm talking about. It's like, people will tell you, oh, you've got to make sure that you've got a good thumbnail. I'm like, really? Thank you for sharing. Not helpful.
But they probably thought they were being helpful.
This is the problem.
So be grateful.
Yeah. But it's going back to the thing about my time. It's like, any time that I don't spend making shorts or making content or editing or filming or setting up new lighting or setting up a new set or gigging or learning new songs or doing live streams, anything that's outside of that needs to be paying off in terms of actually growing the business. So somebody wasting my time saying, oh, I think you should do this is like, I'm trying to get away from it because it's not helpful. They think they're being helpful, but they're actually helping me more by not saying anything, because it means that I can crack on and actually think about the problems that I need to solve. That's why I spend a lot of time by myself.
I'm just grateful if someone gave me any sort of advice. Yes, it can be frustrating, but...
No, I'm still open. I'm open to advice, and like it's different when something is general advice about a platform. For example, oh, you need to make sure your thumbnails are good, right? Which, thank you, but I crossed that bridge at level 2. If it's I have an interesting idea for a video, that's different, because that's new ideas are always welcome in that. But it's a suggestion rather than a you need to do this because of this. It's like, well, I already do that and you're wrong. Or you might have said the right thing, but your reasoning behind it is a waste of time. And I already knew that was the right thing, so this whole conversation had been a waste of my time.
But you can end the conversation if you think it's
that's what I do. I walk away, or I just say
Will's all about this time, and it really, really frustrates me.
Because you only have 24 hours in a day, and 8 of them I have to sleep.
Yep.
That leaves me with 16 hours. Max that I can work in a day.
Yep.
That's the problem.
That's not a problem.
Okay, and then you expand that out over a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but also you're supposed to eat and do all these other things. Eat and go to the gym and...
Yeah, but you don't like doing either of them.
It's a waste of time.
It's not a waste of time.
The season I'm in of my life is grow the business, grow the business, grow the business.
Yeah.
But anything other than growing the business isn't growing it. You know?
Yeah.
It's difficult.
It's just that nice people like to give you advice.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh, thank you. I've tried that, but
yeah,
I don't know how you'd approach it.
Yeah, that's what I say. Well, what else can you say?
I don't know.
It honestly depends on who it is. Yeah, if it's somebody that I don't know and I want them to like me because I care about their opinion for whatever reason, I'll say, thank you very much. I'll do that. If it's somebody that I do know and I do care about their opinion, I do the same thing. I may even give it a go if I think it's got a hope in hell.
Even if it's like a whole different advice, like say to you, I give you advice. Because there's been times I've given you advice and then you'd be like, shot straight down. Like, you could have a guy. I get that I'm not a YouTuber and I don't do anything in that sense, but you
I never shoot ideas down when I know they
shoot
don't
it
work.
straight down, even when you haven't done it. You'd be sitting there going, oh, I don't know what to do. There's this and there's that. And I'm like, oh, why don't you try this? And you're like, no, it don't work.
The only things that matter are watch time and click-through rate / swipe rate. Anything other than that is irrelevant. The topic is irrelevant. It's all to do with the packaging. Which simplifies everything. It makes it easier. It's liberating because you can make a video on anything. It doesn't matter. You're not a music channel. You're not a podcast channel. It doesn't matter. If you make something that people watch 100% of and everyone it's put in front of clicks it, I promise you people will watch it by definition.
Yeah.
But spending my time on anything other than learning how to get good watch time and how to get good CTR is a waste of time. Make a video on this. Okay, but do you realise that takes 24 hours out of my day to go and make this video that I've never done an editing style of that one before, meaning that I wouldn't be able to guarantee the packaging that gives me the watch time and the CTR. So actually that one idea that, yes, is great in theory is just not for me because I don't know how to package that well. I'm getting better at packaging up music content.
Maybe that's something you like to do.
But it's also what I've practiced. I've done 1,500 videos on music. I've done 0 videos on hosting a game show.
Could be something new.
Well, exactly. But anything new that you do, you've got to realise there's going to be a learning curve. So it's like recently I've been wanting to do animations. I made one animation video, but it's going to take me well over 100 before I get anything that I'm actually capable of posting.
Yeah, but practice makes perfect.
Exactly.
So talk about the emotional, physical, or mental load of YouTube and
It's stressful because I've got to have a short that goes out every day, and it's not like a normal job. This is why YouTube is harder than working in childcare. In YouTube, you are paid and promoted in the algorithm for having the best video out. Right? There's not a world where if you don't have the most watched video and the most clicked video that you don't fly on YouTube. If I'm having a bad day, I've still got to get a video out at 5:45 every single day. That's my schedule. That's what my viewers are going to expect. However, if I'm not feeling it that day, or I've got nothing left in the chamber in terms of scheduled videos, and I've got to make one, I can't make that video that day. Because I can't make the absolute best video that I know I'm capable of making if I'm not as tired, or if I have a better idea, or whatever. So then it's like, okay, well, just do the best you can do. Now that's fine in a job you're paid hourly for, because at the end of the day, you're risking nothing. If your job is entirely outcome based, which mine is, which is like, if the video gets 1 million views, I get paid for 1 million views. If the video gets 1 view, I get paid for 1 view. That's bad. And that impacts if I can pay rent, if I can pay you bills, whatever. So I've got to constantly be outcome focused. And if I make a video and I know that it's bad before I upload it, it's like I haven't worked enough that day, because it's not done. It's as good as not posting, because nobody will see it. So that's the stress, because you know every video has got to be better than your last. So that's a lot of my worry.
Mm.
And it's a lot of pressure. It's pressure I like, because it drives you to constantly be better. But it does mean that if you have those weeks where you're ill, or where you're, feeling really tired because you were woken up at 6 a.m. and you couldn't get back to sleep, and then you went out in the morning to get your pan of chocolate and you didn't have any good video ideas like you normally do on your way back while listening to the motivational podcast, and you sit down at your desk and you've read your emails and you've got no brand deals that have come in, and then you've still got to make a video and find the motivation to do that while still worrying about your live series because you're doing 100 songs in a day. It's a lot to try and focus on. Sorry, you were saying. Being a YouTuber is harder than working in childcare. It's outcome focused, not input focused.
But my hours are long, and you're tired by just stressing about if you've got income coming in and if you've got brand deals and a load of other stuff, like you just said. Whereas mine is very focused on the child, very focused on not having 5 minutes to yourself because they are hanging off you. I wake up at 5:50 and leave at like 25 past 6, get back at about 10, half 10, go to sleep, do it all over again.
Inputs.
Right? He sometimes complains that I wake him up at 6 a.m. and he's tired by 2 p.m. and I've still got an 8-hour shift after that 2 p.m. limit that I'm tired, but I haven't complained because I've got to deal with it.
You get paid per hour. You don't get paid for outputs.
No, but it's still a lot.
I know it's a lot. I'm not saying it's not a lot. I'm just saying YouTube's harder.
No, it's not.
In terms of the actual work, it's harder.
No, it's not. It's not.
You get paid whether or not you get punched in the face by your kid. I don't get paid whether or not I make a video. But I can put just as much effort into that video.
But if I don't do some sort of work, or if I don't, say I just start lacking in looking after the young people, I will not get paid because I will get sacked. I cannot lack.
No.
I can't not go, right, I'm not doing work today. I have to complete that paperwork that I've been asked. My manager comes in and goes, oh, can you just order this, or can you just do this for me? Can you do that for me? And if I don't do that by the end of the shift, they'd be questioning me because I've had 8 hours to do it.
Mm.
Then they're probably like,
That sounds difficult.
I get your job is difficult, but you still get paid from the other videos that you do as well.
It's trending downwards.
But you still get paid.
I constantly feel like I've got a pack of wolves coming after me, being a YouTuber.
And you get loads more money than I do.
That's not true.
It is. The last 2 months.
Yeah, it's been good.
You've made more than I would do in like 3 months.
Yeah. But do you know how scary that is? Because you know it's not going to last unless you double down. The best decision I ever made was getting my, when YouTube started to go on the up this time, on this cycle of it doing well, it was coming up to my final assessments for my degree.
Mm-hmm.
So I did them all a month early. Did you know that they're all a month early?
Yeah, because you wouldn't stop talking about it.
So YouTube is on the up. Now, whenever you start to get views on YouTube, you've got to double, triple, quadruple down because they're not going to, like, it's like catching lightning in a bottle is the phrase I keep using because you just don't know how long it's going to last. So you need to be cranking out and really make the videos not just double as better as the last one, but triple and quadruple and quintuple, like 10x as good every time because you need to really push. And I managed to get, just as everything was going on the up on YouTube, all my uni stuff was coming around to being done. So I made the tough decision to just focus on uni for like a week and crank out all my assessments. Again, output focused. It's not, I don't care what the input is. The input is irrelevant. Like I can work 100 hours in a day or I can work 1 hour in a day. I don't care. If I get the result, I get the result. Does that make sense? So I put in as many hours as it took. I didn't care, but the point was I didn't have to want to resubmit any of my uni stuff because then that eats into more YouTube time. So I decided to try really hard on it, get it all done, and then I was able to double triple down on YouTube. So that prioritization of time is the best thing I've ever done because it meant that I could then get that video that got 33 million views or whatever it's on now and blow up my career. And then everyone's like, oh my God, you're so lucky. Yes, I'm lucky. I'm like a god. Try and compete with me. It's like, yeah, it's all luck, obviously. There's no way hard work actually achieved anything. Winds me up.
Why do you keep going if it's so hard?
I don't know what I would do in my life without making content and entertaining people. I think I have a need to want to entertain people, fundamentally. I don't, like, whenever we've been out, when am I ever not the one that wants to be the centre of attention? I always want to be the centre of attention, don't I? Let's be honest. Like, but I don't know why that is. I
notice when you talk to your dad and he'll have a conversation with you, go, how's your day? Yeah, mine's been good. You talk about your day. And then he'll say something else and then you talk about yourself. And then you'll say something else and you talk about yourself. I never hear you go back and go to the end of the phone call where you've just thought and gone, oh, I haven't asked Dad how his day was. It's not a back and forth. How's my day? How's your day? Yeah, my day was good. How was your day? Yeah, my day was good. And then he'd go on about his day. And then you could talk about something and then you could ask your dad about something in his life. I never see that. The odd occasion I have, but it's a lot of like, your dad's trying to find conversations just to talk about you. And you're not having a back and forth conversation.
I'm not very good at having conversations.
No, I know. We'll sit there silently eating dinner tonight.
It's because I'm always so worried about the next thing that's happening. Like the only thing that matters, like what does it mean to have something that matters to you? Could be a good question to ask. Like, how do you know when something matters to you?
Don't know.
Is it an unignorable feeling of this thing is important?
Yeah. Because
I would argue if it is ignorable, then it doesn't matter. Because you can just put it off to one side of your brain. So it's got to, I think
I do that for work.
When something matters, it's hard to ignore. Because it's important. What matters means is, I think it means it's more important. So using that, the only thing that matters to me and is unignorable in my life is, can I grow the YouTube channel? It's the only thing that matters. So talking to Dad is a great summary of my day, and it's almost like an accountability buddy in a way of like, I've done this today, this today, this today, this today. I could have done this better. This went well. It's a summary. And that has been a good anchor for me on, am I being productive? Am I getting the most out of every hour today? Because if he calls and I've got nothing to say, what have you done today, Will? I watch Netflix.
I'd love to do that.
I watch YouTube. So, okay, so Will, you're useless, are you? That's the thing I've got in the back of my head constantly. It's like,
no, but
what have I
sometimes
done
people
today?
are allowed to have a day off.
Why?
He won't even let us go on holiday. It's just about YouTube.
If you live
I need a holiday.
If you live in Uganda, how many people there do you reckon are moaning that they don't get a Saturday and a Sunday off?
I don't know, because I don't know what their work life is over there.
0. You work 7 days a week for your life, because work is getting food, making sure that you can, support your family and whatever that means. Can you get your kids to actually go to school? The kids are off school, cool, but there still needs to be food on the table, whether it's a Saturday or Sunday or Monday or bank holiday or whatever.
But that's with everyone, is it not?
Not in the same way. Like in the UK, if you work a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, you probably earn enough on your salary to be able to not work weekends so that you can still afford food on Saturday and Sunday. When you go into, and I said Uganda, but it can be any poorer place, is you struggle to get those very basic things on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Do you know about that? Like the first thing you need is like shelter and then food and whatever. So the problem, as the lower you go on that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is they become more important, obviously, because if you don't have shelter and you don't have water, you're going to get eaten. Because you can't run away because you're too thirsty. Right, you can't hide away. You have no shelter. Food you can go a couple of weeks without.
Hide in the bin. Hide in the bin.
What bin?
In a bin.
Why do you have a bin if you don't have shelter?
There might be a bin, you never know.
Does your family of 8 fit in a bin?
No, just find 8 bins.
Find 8 bins. You could solve Africa. Or even poorer places in London, to be fair. But I think it's a very developed world Western idea of like, you don't have to work Saturday and Sunday, or you don't have to work 7 days a week. It's like, no, that's dumb. It's like, just work. If you enjoy it, work. Even if you don't enjoy it, like, why do you need to enjoy it? Why do you need to be happy?
Because you just make everyone else miserable.
I think
I looked in that light and now all I can see is just white light.
we got some studio lights in the studio today. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that you don't want to be happy, but I think realizing that
we need a holiday, yeah.
You can periodize your work, and if something's doing well, why wouldn't you double, triple, quadruple down on it to make sure that you are getting the absolute best for yourself?
But why would you not also give yourself a mental break?
Because what if I don't need one?
What if you do, but you just don't notice
it? Would be more stressful to me if we went on a holiday and I wasn't working.
I'm aware.
Because the only thing I'd be like thinking about is, I don't have a YouTube video going up, or it's done.
But you always plan ahead anyway. You always put a YouTube video up. Always.
Yeah, but they're not as good as they could have been. Like whenever I go away, the views always trend down. Because the very nature of bulk recording videos is that you're trying to crank them out. So the energy, the watch time, the swipe rate just isn't as good. The viewer knows. I don't know how, but they know.
I don't know. Everyone deserves creepy. A holiday, though.
Why?
Because it's nice to relax.
For you. That's a very selfish way to look at it.
For everyone.
Not for... Why relax?
Because it's nice. You then just sit back and relax and you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have any worries whilst you're on holiday. That is a nice feeling.
That's because you get paid no matter what.
Yes, but it's still
if I took a week off and can guarantee myself 7 videos over 1 million views, yeah, I'd be relaxed.
It's still a nice feeling. I'm not going on holiday on my own. I'm not doing that. I just like to go and sit in the sun. English sun, no, it's too hot. Gran Canaria's sun wasn't too bad.
We can go back to Gran Canaria.
It's just nice to have a holiday.
Mm. Yeah, I like to do activities on holiday as well.
Yeah.
I like to jet ski.
Yeah.
And surf.
Yeah.
What's my last question?
It says, our future kids. So, how would you change your job to fit around family life?
I'd make making YouTube videos seem like fun so the kids could work for me for free.
Child slavery over it.
No, it's instilling.
Child slavery. He's making me work for him for free as well.
It's instilling values that you get nothing in this world without working for it. And it takes sacrifices to actually get somewhere. For example, how much time with me have you sacrificed to help support me and growing the YouTube channel?
0.
Over 1,000 hours, I would have said by now.
Have I?
Well, I'm in here, you're in there.
Yeah, so you just don't want to spend time with me.
No, but you do that because you know that this matters to me. Therefore, it took big sacrifice on your part so that I could have success. Yeah. What am I sacrificing? I'm sacrificing everything else. Like, I'm risking my relationship. I'm risking having a proper career path on one of the typical standard routes like accounting or law, working in law or working as an estate agent, any sort of normal career, on the hope that I can make YouTube work. There's no guarantees, but I'm willing to risk that because I'm so passionate about it and it matters to me. Going back to that word, matters. And you're sacrificing as well. It's like, that's what I want to teach the kids. It's like, if you want something in this life, there's no guarantees. But the only way I can guarantee you will fail if you don't do anything. I can tell you that there's a much higher chance of succeeding if you actually do something. So teaching them to do something. It's just what it comes down to. It's the number one thing I want to instill in them. If you want something to happen, you make it happen. Don't wait for it to happen, do you? Nobody's just going to give me 1 million subs tomorrow. You've got to make that happen. Mm. Nobody's going to give me £1 million. I've got to make that happen.
I wish I got given £1 million.
Everyone does, but I don't think they do. Okay, so say you make 100 grand a year, right?
That'd be nice.
Yeah. But you're paying essentially 900 grand a year to not know how to make £1 million a year. It's costing you. If you make 100 grand a year, it's costing you 900 grand a year to not know how to make $1 million. Because if you did know how to make $1 million, you wouldn't be paying that 900,000 of not knowing it. That's what I think all the time. Every year I'm not making $1 million a year. Like, I am literally paying ignorance tax. So it winds me up. Because if I just knew, it's just information. If I knew how to make £1 million a year, I'd just make £1 million a year. But I don't know it. So I've got to work my butt off so that I can do it.
I would never make £1 million a year.
Not with that attitude.
No, in my job role, never.
Why not? If you did your job for an Abu Dhabi oil trillionaire, you could make $1 million a year in your job.
I don't think I can.
I think you could.
And pretty much done.
Cool. We'll wrap up the episode there. Thank you so much for watching. This has been episode 5, although there was a ghost episode.
Yeah, he was meant to edit and send it off.
It is edited. It's done.
Oh.
I just never uploaded it. Because you didn't take a thumbnail, which we're doing now, by the way. Right after this podcast, we're taking all the thumbnails.
It's 4:45.
So?
Got my eyebrows today.
We're taking thumbnails. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, share with your friends, and let me know in your comments your biggest goal for the next year and also what your next step is to achieving it. Don't just tell me your goal without a next step. I want to know what you're actually going to do to help achieve your goal. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.
That was a good episode. I like that.